Hello guys, my name is Michael and welcome to a new GTK tutorial. Like I said in the last video, if it's coming something new or if it will come something new, then I will going to update the GTK property playlist. And of course there is something new, there is something which was already there but I forgot, and it is that today we are going to talk about properties like child properties, and there also other things like style properties. About style properties, you really have to leave a comment if you really need to work with style properties, because I'm not going to make a video about them, and the reason is very simple. Most of them are already marked as deprecated, and those which they remain, you can just very well replace them through your CSS. So basically, that what is important for you to know it is that you will not going to use them anymore in the next release, which already came out in the GTK 4. They are gone, they are dead, they are not here anymore. So we are not going to talk about GTK style properties. Instead, we are going to talk about child properties, because these things we are going to use them a lot. Okay, for that, when you are talking about the child properties, basically you are talking about something which belongs to something. That's why it's a child, which means a child has a parent. When you talk about this relationship, then the first thing which coming to your mind, it has to be a container somehow involved, and this is true. Yes, we are talking about a container. So basically now we are on object hierarchy. Here and here is the GTK container. About the GTK container, you should already be familiar with it. I didn't provide playlist for the GTK container. Probably I will do later, I don't know, but you should already know what it is because you already saw in other videos. But I think I'm going to make a playlist at some point about it. Anyway, what do you need to know about the GTK container is that GTK container is the base class for widgets which contain other widgets. In other words, it is about something very important when you want to put a child inside another widget, when you try to add more widgets sorry guys, to the container itself, then you have this possibility to use the container. There are a lot of containers already provided for you, widgets like GTK grid, GTK fixed boxes, and of course there are another more of them like header bar. You saw already that you can use a lot of childs, a lot of widgets inside that widget bar, and so on. Okay, that being said, this is the GTK container. It has those functions like GTK container add. You already saw this function. I think there are another functions which we used. I'm not sure how many and how we did use. Anyway, whatever, it's not the object of the video right now. So basically we saw what a GTK container, its main description is quite big. GTK user interface is constructed by nesting widgets inside widgets. So it's something like if else, and then you put a lot of if else inside an if or else, nothing more. Container widgets are the inner nodes in the resulting tree of widgets, so they contain other widgets. So for example, you might have a GTK window containing a GTK frame containing a GTK label. If you wanted an image instead of a textual label inside the frame, you might replace the GTK label widget with a GTK image widget. It's true. There are two major kinds of container widgets in GTK, so both are subclasses of the abstract GTK container base class. So remember, both these two major kinds of container widgets there. Okay, so the first type of container widgets has a single child, which derives from a GTK bin. Yeah, those one, like for example inside the window you cannot put more than one child. So this means if you need to put more widgets inside of your main window, you need to put a container inside, like a grid or a box or whatever. If you, for example, you have a button, you can put only a label or you can put an image, but you can have both. Okay, that being said, this is the first type, which is there is from GTK bin. Everything which there is from GTK bin can have only one child. These containers are decorators which add some kind of functionality to the child. For example, GTK button make its child into a clickable button. So those functionalities are also not object of this discussion now. Anyway, the second type of container, this is what you are going to use it in all your application. You need it at least one. The second container type of container can have more than one child. It's proposed to manage layout. So this means that these containers assign size and position to their children. For example, a GTK H box. Okay, there is no GTK, there is only GTK box, but whatever. Arranges its children in a horizontal row, and GTK grid arranges the widgets it contains in a two-dimensional grid. So these are basically information which you need to know. It's not important right now. The thing is that I'm going to scroll down and down and down and down until I come at some point to child properties. Right here, you see, this is the thing which we are going to talk about. What's the story with the child property? So let me go back to the object hierarchy. Now if I click on GTK container, no, not itself. Let me search for grids, for example. Hbox should also have. Nope. I think it is already marked as deprecated. Yes, has been deprecated, size version, whatever. Okay. This is not what I want. So GTK fixed, for example, has only child property. It has no properties, but has child properties, which there are two. The same story goes to GTK grid, has properties, as we already talked about them, and has child properties as well. The same story goes with GTK header bar. The same one has properties and has child properties. So this is the thing which we are going to talk in this video. Some of you which you followed already the GTK header bar, you already saw that we use them, but whatever. I'm going to fill this playlist with this information again. Okay, so that being said, GTK container, we are back to child property. GTK container introduce child properties. So this is very important for you to understand, is this part right here, what exactly means child properties. So these are object properties that are not specific to either container or the container widget. So basically, if you have a container like a grid and you have a child like a button, those child properties has nothing to do with the grid and or with the button. It has to do with relation, but rather to their relation. So basically, this is what you need to understand. You apply this kind of properties somewhere between, not to the container, not to the child. So these examples of child properties are the position or pack type. Yes, because this is most important, which you need to know. You need to know how to set this kind of child properties like position and pack type of a widget, which is contained in, for example, a GTK box. And then we have a lot of functions right here. It says use GTK container class install child properties to install child properties for a container class. We are not going to use this because it's too complicated. We already did with the GTK install properties. We're already too complicated, but we are going to talk about this when the moment comes, when we are going to create our own widgets in the future somewhere at some point. Okay, so to install child properties for container class and GTK class, find child property or GTK class list child properties to get information about existing child properties. So this is basically the same like we were talking about when we set and get properties, you saw yourself that you can find a property or you can list a property or you can install a property. It's almost the same thing. So to set the value of the child property, use the GTK container child set property right here, which as you can see, it takes the container, it takes the child, it takes the property, and of course the G value. It should not be something new for you right now. Okay, and of course from all other functions here, there is always a function which goes faster than others, and it is called GTK container set. It is the same like a child set. This is the same like the same concept like the same when you work with G object set and G object get. So basically G container child means almost the same like G object set or G object get, where you don't need to pass a G value or something. So this is the faster way. This is the way what we are going to talk right now. For this, I'm going to open my code blocks right here. I already prepared a program because it's too much to talk and too much to write, and we are going to talk about the program flow first. I created a program which creates a window, creates a grid and two buttons. We are putting the grid inside the window, and of course we are putting those two buttons inside. We are creating two buttons which we are putting them inside the grid. And if we take a look at grid attach function, we already know, if not, go back to GTK grid playlist. We have 6 parameters. The first one, it is the grid itself. The second one is the child, which is the button in this case. And then for the last 4 arguments right here, the first one is left, top, width, height. So basically this one should be on the left one at 0 position and at top at the 0 position. So basically it will be in the corner, left corner and top corner. And the second one, as you can see, we have left 0, top 1 will be also in the left corner but at the position 1. So I'm going to compile it and run it. And as you can see, let me make it bigger. We have here the window, which is red market. We have the container, the grid, which is orange, and of course we have these two buttons, button 1 and button 2. As you can see, the button 1, it is on the left corner, which is left 0, top 0, and the second one, the second button, it is also on the left 0 position right here. This is 0 and then 1, 2, 3 and so on, but at position 1 from top. So the button 1 is position 0 top and button 2 is position 1 and top. Okay, that is not important which we need to talk right now. The important thing is that we are going to call GTK container child set right now. So I'm going to set I don't know, child properties, whatever. Okay, so for this we need the GTK container child set function. And the first one, it is a GTK container. In this case, the place where we are going to use our child, it is the same like here. So GTK grid, but we need a container and not a grid, you see. So basically we need to cast it to GTK container this time, and we are going to put our grid inside. The second one, it is the child, which in our case is the button. So we are going to use the button 1, or the you know what, I'm going to use only the button 2 right now. And of course then we have those properties which we can apply. Which properties are? Well, let us see. We are talking about now about relationship between who? Yes, between the button and the grid, because the button belongs to grid. It was put inside the grid, so we are interested in grid right now, isn't it? Okay, don't worry if you think that it is somehow complicated. You will see later when we are going to go deeper in this story. So I'm going to search on GTK grid. It is right here, and the GTK grid says here's the function GTK grid attach, which we are using right here. And as you can see, it has properties and child properties, and those child properties are quite few, only 4: the height, left, top, and width. Which, if you pay attention, these 4 parameters corresponds to the. Let me open another one. It has to be more easier to use it. So GTK grid right here. I'm going to move it. Now watch. You see right here the GTK grid attach has 4 arguments: left, top, width, height. And as you can see, the child properties are also height, left, top, width. So basically it's the same thing. Whether you are setting them through GTK grid attach, or you are setting their child properties like we are doing right now. So what we are going to do, we are going to say now, let me go a little bit here, and the first one, it will be in our case left attach. We are going to say 1, and the next one will be top attach. We are going to say also 1. You will see in a moment what exactly I'm talking about. Okay, the next one, it will be width, which is also 1 in this case, and the last one, it is height, which is right here. Okay, which I'm going to use also 1 and null. Now, what's the difference between this one and this one? It is then that the second button, which before we choose to be at position 0, left, top 1, this time we said left 1, top 1. So watch. You see, the button 2 now, it is not anymore under the button 1, it is right here under its right side at the button position. From top it is pushed 1, and from left it is also pushed 1. So basically this is the changes. Now you need to take care about something. Let me show you what happens if we comment this grid attach call. Bam! Houston, we have a problem, which says invalid child property ID 1 for left attach of type parameter in whatever. As you can see, we have a warning. So remember, you will see that not just here, you will see always when you deal with child properties, if you don't set them before you use them, you will have a problem. So basically, remember, before you use before you decide to apply GTK container child set, make sure that you work with GTK grid attach. But it doesn't mean that you can say I don't need this function anymore, because if I have these functions, why do I need that? Well, you will see in the next video we are going to talk about GTK header bar. I'm not going to work with a new widget which we didn't learn already because it creates too much confusion. So we are going to talk again about GTK header bar, and there you'll see that we have no grid attach or something similar. So basically you cannot rely on this one, but you can always rely on this one. So that being said, thank you guys for watching. If you like it, please subscribe, share with your friends and neighbors, and until next time, see you guys.